Let's take a look at another video here. Let's listen up here where Jonathan Roumie's talking about season 4.
Is season 4 the most emotional season for Jesus to date?
Yes, it has been. Yeah, it's challenging, emotional. Yeah, it was the hardest season on so many levels for, I think, all of us.
Watching it, I mean, you are so now identified with Christ in popular culture. Has playing Jesus made it difficult to be Jonathan?
At times, I explore this in a bit in a docuseries I just released called Jonathan and Jesus, and so you kind of get to see.
Oh, it looks like he has a documentary about this, so we'll take a look at that. Jonathan and Jesus. I did see that, and I don't think I pulled up the video on it though, but we'll take a look at that. Let's listen on.
That trajectory from earlier on in my career playing Jesus to almost present day, and yeah, it can be a challenge, but it's one that at the end of the day I'm grateful to be a part of it because it's just doing so much for so many people.
We're now sitting really in the middle, so we've got 3 behind and 3 ahead.
Yeah.
Remember that, guys. There's 3 more seasons left. There are 3 more seasons, right? We're in the middle, and, you know, because the way they're talking, you're thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to be the crucifixion season? But I think it has already been pre-planned out. According to Dallas Jenkins, there's going to be 7 seasons total. Don't quote me, but if this guy is correct and in his speaking, then this is season 4, and there's 3 more ahead of it. So let's continue on.
That feel like I remember talking to you before the start of season 1.
I think you were my first official interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's surreal, man. It's yeah.
So this guy did his first interview. That's super cool.
It's a trip. I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to be able to really experience what all of it means until it's done. I'm trying to just be present and enjoy every moment of the process. Yeah, so it's hard to think about that it's going to be done, but at times I'm like, well, we're more than halfway done. So yeah, but I'm going to try to just enjoy the run right now and just hope people go to theaters on February 1st and kick back and just see the story told out on the big screen for the entire season, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, excited.
Absolutely. And what he's talking about for the season 4 is that right here you can click on get tickets. Look, I'm not getting paid by Chosen. Chosen lets me, I've remixed a couple of their trailers so I can put it on shorts, and don't really say much at all, just in hopes to kind of spread it to people who may have had it in the back of their head. Sometimes it's like that oh yeah, I forgot, you already knew about it. And then sometimes it might go to somebody who never thought about that and been like, you know what, what is this Chosen? And that's like spreading the gospel. Like I said, you guys could share some trailers. We need to come together as Christians anyways, because there's all these different denominations and we're all kind of in our own little echo chambers. We should come together collectively, Catholics, Christians. John Roumie is a Catholic, and that's perfectly okay with me. And I think that we can all come together and kind of agree on like, hey, this is the story of Jesus, which we're all believing in, and let people know. And you can still get tickets. You can still go watch this with your family. Why wouldn't you want to? If you haven't seen this, the funny thing is the only episode that was really dry for me was the very first episode. And I think even Dallas was like, the first episode has to set everything up. And if you get through that, you'll be good. And that was the only issue. And that was episode 1 of season 1. Everything else I've completely enjoyed, and it's been amazing. Of course, I have my favorite parts. Let's listen on though. I just wanted to tell you guys, look, you can go to the theaters, you can get the tickets, you can watch the trailer. You can watch the trailer with me on my channel, see what it's all about. But this is definitely worthy. The quality's there, the acting's there. I mean, We got the general public talking about Jesus. How amazing is that? How is that not a job well done? I wonder how many people are going to get saved, are going to say, put up that backsliding and say, like, I'm ready to come back. I'm going to stop playing with God. I know this has definitely helped me in my walk. And I think that if you're a Christian, you're always growing in your faith, and you're never not growing in business, and I'm going to reference business a lot because I come from business. And if you don't come from business, or you're not that interested in business, I think you could still take what I'm going to tell you about it. But in business, they say stagnicity is death, meaning like if you're not growing, if you're not continuously, performing, then you're doing the opposite, which is you're closing down, shutting down. And I think the same thing with your faith is, and life in general, relationships in general, you're always growing. You're growing closer or growing apart. So let's listen on here and close that. Here we go.
Excited myself. If you could, looking back at this season, give us a scene or a storyline that stands out for you now.
I think the Lazarus storyline is a huge one. We spent a lot of season 3 developing Jesus and Lazarus's friendship, and to see Lazarus's journey and how Jesus reacts to it, and the pain that causes, and then the pain of the community at large, despite Jesus hoping that they will have understood that he is the Messiah.
Do you see that there, that little caveat that in this actor, Jonathan Roumie, does a really good job of this, but do you see that this isn't just thrown together as if it was thrown to Hollywood, and how they would just kind of take that creative liberty of expression and kind of run wild with it? These people are praying, getting together with the writers, with the actors, probably with people who are well versed in the Bible, and they're meeting and they're saying, okay, like, how should we do this? And they're thinking about it, and they're being very, very respectful of God, which to me just kind of shows how much everybody really cares about this, getting this right as we can as humans. So just remember that, like, everybody in here is human at the end of the day as well. But isn't that awesome that they're taking that degree of time and just building those layers up, rehashing it, looking at it again, asking all these questions that have never been asked before. Like, what was Jesus and Lazarus' relationship like? And just kind of exploring that and pondering that. And there's nothing wrong with pondering the life of Jesus. Let's watch on.
Death cannot stop him. And then still sort of succumbing to the earthly temporal norms of a life coming to an end. Mm-hmm. I think all of that had created that moment where he finally weeps, not just for the death of his friend and the pain of his friend's family, but for they didn't get it. They don't know. I know what I'm going to do, and now I got to show them. Mm-hmm. So I think that is one of the storylines I'm most excited about.
One of the things I enjoy is the relationship between Jesus and John. Tell me how important you feel that bond is there.
He's the beloved. He's like the son to Jesus. I feel that dynamic in our show is that, he's like the son that's, he's got the younger son, he's got to kind of learn a few hard lessons and be taught a few things before he finally gets it. But he knows that he's going to be with him at the foot of the cross, and he will outlive all the other disciples in reality.
Don't want to give too much away, but there's a moment that you would think Jesus should be the answer to change a difficult situation, and you don't.
Yeah. Even some things the Father does not tell me, I think that's going to be one that people wrestle with, and that is what we wrestle with as believers. Why?
Yeah. They're touching on the whole book, guys, whether we like it. There's some parts that we wrestle with, and they're just touching on that full spectrum of humanity, that full emotion, that full emotional, will that we all go through. So let's listen on.
Why this and not that? Why them and not me? Why me and not them?
Yeah.
And, that's where trust and faith and surrender come into the equation of the spiritual life. So we explore that.
So next I wanted to, we have a lot of Jonathan Roumie on here, and obviously, he plays Jesus. He's more popular than everybody else. So I wanted to bring a different perspective and show you the guys, Shahar, Isaac, and Noah James, who plays the disciples. I don't know their names. See, that's just how I roll sometimes. But let's listen in, because they're doing the circuit, the new circuit as well, kind of going around and promoting season 4. And I think these guys are great actors as well. And let's hear what they got to say.
Guys, congratulations on the season 4 of The Chosen. What an exciting couple of episodes it was last night. Last night I called you Simon. Now I can call you Peter. I get your name correct. Yeah. Season 1.
Yeah.
You
Even he was messing up. Let's continue on.
feel like you may not even get a second half of season 1, and now here we are, season 4. We're at a junket in London, and have a premiere last night.
What a thing, huh? It was yes.
So my picture's blocking it, but Shahar Isaac is Simon Peter, and Noah James is Andrew. Let's keep going.
Yesterday was a moment. Realizing the time that has gone by, what has happened, how everything developed. Watching, I don't know if you remember the beginning of episode 2. So you see John the Baptist and Jesus walking towards each other. I just realized those two people, David and Jonathan, have known each other for a few years now. What a history between them has played. What a history between us has played. It's a lot of nostalgia, because by now we have the time to reflect and remember. And also, pretty crazy to think how it all started and where it is now. We're in Leicester Square yesterday running around. It's pretty crazy to think how it developed like this and where it's gone.
That is pretty cool that, that's another thing. Like I said, this brings out just new ideas, which I really love, is that the disciples, as they were called, the chosen, they were chosen by Jesus, that they to start developing relationships, because they spend so much time together. I mean, have you ever had a friend who you spent just time together? Now, if you served in like the military, you worked in maybe the hospitals, things like that, or you just at a regular job, sometimes you will just spend time with people. But especially like if you're in the military, you're going through extreme conditions, as these people were going through extreme conditions. There's a bond that's built there that can't just be built casually. You have to go through life with somebody, and certain scenarios, for certain occupations or people who have served, they go through these and form this bond. The disciples are going through, they're watching people be healed. They were never healed before through their eyes. They're suffering, they're walking, they're traveling, they're sweating, they're helping preach the gospel. They're being hated on, and the only thing they have is God and each other. And so that bond is growing and strong. Let's keep watching on. That's a cool perception that I didn't think of before.
Right?
Totally insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And on the way last night, I was watching a feature about you and your character, and how at the beginning you didn't really know which character you were going to play. And now I know we're a few seasons along, but does it just feel like you were born to play this character?
It's so funny, because when that came to be, I knew when I read the scripts. It's funny, Andrew, do you remember this? In the scripts, we don't quite know. You don't understand, these people become the disciples as it's laid out. And I remember Andrew's described as like mystery man, looking and directing the fight, telling him when to take the hit, when not to take the hit. I was like, ooh, who is this guy?
This guy.
Yeah, and so that was so fun when Dallas told me that he was thinking of me for that character after, this is maybe my third audition. I think I said, yes, that I would connect with that in a very strong way. So I'm just grateful that it went that way.
Fantastic. And I love the relationship of the brother relationship. Like you can say things to him like, oh, so you're Peter, this cool guy. And you've got this sort of swagger about you.
Look, guys, I'm also going to put let me change up a little bit. I'm also going to put the video links below so you can go watch all of these in full. We want to kind of leave, if you want to watch this, it'll be below in the links. Let's move on, watch a couple of more.